It's our holiday edition, Janusz Michallik, where we're giving out gifts because some players and teams have been naughty, some have been nice, but some weren't looking out and some were not thinking twice. So we will start with who has been your gift for the Grinch this year. What's bothered you in football this year?
VAR. And because I've been against it for a long time. I mean, I'm not old school, by the way. I gave it a shot, but it just bothers me because I just don't think that the game. And when I say VAR, it's I'm going to throw the laws of the game, which now everybody's trying to change to fit the VAR, right? Because there's so many questions, but the game was never meant to be a perfect science, and that's what it seems to me that it has become, right? When we were kids, we just played and we had the disputes and we somehow solved them, and I know that we've had the discussions when VAR wasn't there, and even if somehow VAR went away, I think we'd still be here arguing because it's not that easy. But I think VAR was there to help the referees, or at least came about to help the referees, and it seems to me now that VAR is protecting the referees. The gray area has become even larger. There's so much time that goes into every decision. It's not spontaneous. I just don't like it. And I know that it's not going to go away. It's here to stay. So I do hope that we find a way to refine this. But I just, every game is about something. There are more penalties, this season, it seems, than ever before. There's just a penalty after a penalty, and useless ones, by the way, and because of that. So at the very least, because this is going to continue, and when we talk next season, I'm going to stay with it, by the way, probably. At the very least, fix it and make it mandatory that if VAR gets involved, the referee has to quickly go look over and be the final person to make a decision. Don't let VAR just make the final decisions there, I guess. So I hate it. I just hate it. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fair enough. Sadly, I'm also going to point the finger at the referees, but it's some very specific referees that will get my Grinch Award, Janusz. It's the referees who booked players like Carlos Tevez and Lionel Messi for taking off their shirts during goal celebrations to celebrate Diego Maradona. As you know, Tevez showed off a Boca Juniors shirt, Messi with the Newell's Old Boys shirt, and the referees, yes, they were following rules, and I know rules are rules, but I think on this occasion, given the player who it was, given the fact that that was Argentine players as well, that rule could have been broken. So that's my Grinch Award of the year here. Next, for who's getting all the gifts this year, I'm going for one man in particular. And it's not so much for what he's done with his team. I do like the way he's managing them. It's just because he's had a very tough year. He lost his sister at the start of the year. Towards the end of the year, he's suffering with an autoimmune disease, which has flared up, which is why you see him wearing an eye patch. I am, of course, talking about Gennaro Gattuso. And the reason I would like him to get the gifts is because he is bringing the fire in his post-match press conferences. So I made some notes of some of the things that he said this year that really did make me giggle. One of them was that players should be allowed to tell the referee to beep off, which of course I don't agree with, but it did make me laugh. He also said if he was in this Napoli squad right now as a player, he'd be spending a lot of time on the beach because he definitely wouldn't make this team. And I loved his honesty there. He said he doesn't like music in the locker room. It's really annoying, but he understands that is what players do nowadays. So he's accepting it. He's become a modern day manager. And last but not least, you probably remember this, he dropped Fauzi Ghulam and Mario Rui because he was very annoyed at them because he said that they were practically just jogging in training. And instead of them letting them stay at home because they weren't in the squad, he still made them make the trip and he put them up in the stands to watch it. And he said, I'm not just going to let them stay at home and watch on the couch because that would be too easy for them. So I'm saying all the gifts for him. Never change, Reno. I love it. I know it hasn't been your best year, so I'm going to give you all my gifts. What about you, Janusz?
Well, that's a perfect one, and it kind of, good segue because, of course, he was a former player of the team that I like, and I would even call it great. I have to pick Milan. It was a difficult choice because there's a number of deserving ones, but if you look at Milan, it is incredible what they've done so far. Top of the Serie A, of course, dramatically yesterday against Lazio with Theo Hernandez scoring an incredible goal header in stoppage time. Undefeated, of course, 26 consecutive games without a defeat in Serie A. Only really 3 losses in all competitions, 1 in last 36. while not even having Zlatan Ibrahimovic for long periods of time. Now, a couple injuries for him as well. Such a young team. And, the reason I've picked them because, they're not the team of the past. And I was fortunate to play against, the likes of, Van Basten, Hullet, and all the greats, and Carlo Ancelotti, and the Arrigo Sacchi team in 91, I think it was, or 92. And, that's not the team. And it has a long way to become that, but it has the spirit of that team. It has an aura. It has the hope in this holiday season for all the Milan fans that finally this team is not just unbeatable, but a team with character, team that plays until the last minute, team that is not just going to give up because they don't think that they have the talent. So I think that's a great rebuild. Who knows where they're going to end up, but to be at the top of Serie A, undefeated, I can't imagine that anybody thought, including the players, that this was possible before the season started. So great job by Stefano Pioli. Great job by this young team, because there's so many youngsters that are being introduced. The foundation is being laid, hopefully, for Milan to come back to their glory days.
Just as a side note, how did you do against that team?
1-1. It was a friendly. It was a yes. It's a friendly. They probably played at 50% of the
they were playing at their full strength.
Full strength team. I mean, Maldini and Baresi and Tassotti and everybody else that you'd imagine on that team. So it just makes me feel old, because even when I watch Carlo Ancelotti now, he played in that game. So anyway, but very proud.
That is the true definition of cool story, bro. That's a great story and a brilliant anecdote as well. Who's getting your sack of coal this year then?
Sack of coal, it perhaps appropriate, because I've picked Schalke for that one. And it's appropriate because, it was at one stage, it was the biggest coal mining city in Europe, of course. But, for me, I'm romantic in that. And I remember Schalke and their glory days. And it's not like Schalke has won millions of unbelievable trophies, but they've always been a massive team in the Bundesliga. And even recently, if you remember, when Raul still played for them, they were part of the Champions League, of course, and always sort of capable of getting a big result against big teams. But to be on this unbelievable run, they haven't won a game in 9 months until the other day, when they finally won a game against fourth tier team. And I already forgot. I think it's called Schweinfurt, fourth tier. And I hope I said that right. In the Pokal as well, but fourth tier. And before that, I mean, they're going now 9 months, as I've mentioned, 28 games without a win. Dead last in the Bundesliga right now. And it's just, it's a team that I remember well when I was growing up, and one of the biggest teams in Bundesliga in my book. So for them to be in a position like they are right now, it's crazy. And, and the call, it was just an automatic. I didn't even have to think about it, because, of course, everybody knows where Gelsenkirchen is located.
Okay, so for me, I go to something that you've half mentioned in our gift giving here. And mine are the people that draw the VAR lines. They are the fun sponges, the crosshair technology, they call it, right?
They're crooked. Is who. Those lines are crooked.
Crooked. Listen, Janusz, if I find out that your chair is not in line with your table legs before your next answer is given, you will be disqualified and your answer will be disallowed. It just takes some of the joy out of it. I know it's upset so many people. I just feel that they've already got their protractors and their rulers and everything else they need. So give them a bag of coal, because they've upset far too many people this year. And I'm sure Santa is one of them as well.
I'm with you on that one. Absolutely. I don't trust those lines. I don't think they're straight.
How can we? Lastly, what would you like to see? What would be your biggest gift to you for the new year, for 2021 in football?
I want the stadiums to be full. Obviously, for that to happen, I want the disease to go away. But, those are the right things to say, but it's just not the same game. I think we kid ourselves, and we've conditioned ourselves to love the game. And by the way, without fans for such a long time, there's so many great games. But, the problem is that, sometimes, great fans make even an average or a bad game look good, right? Because if I don't want to watch what's happening on the pitch, well, at least I can look at the tifos. I can look at the atmosphere. I can listen to the fans sing, and make that game so much better. I want the big derbies with fans, of course, because that's the something extra that you look forward to. You know, if it's the Milan derby or if it's Boca against River, you kind of, you know, you put it on your calendar. You know, if you watch Dortmund, right, you want to see that wall jump in, of course. And so I just think that that's what football and sports and entertainment is all about, of course. So although I think that everybody has done a tremendous job, you know, in particular, I think players, to play without fans, but I want fans to make them accountable when the things are going well, and when the things aren't going well, that little bit of pressure where you know you have to put that extra effort, which now I think some are maybe hiding or skating through just a little bit because there's nobody there to let them know that they pay a lot of money to watch them play. So yeah, of course, I want them back because the game is just absolutely better and more brilliant. And again, I can just watch fans sing, you know, I mean, this is how easy it is for me.
Yeah, and Pioli himself, the Milan manager, was saying, imagine that late winner against Lazio had the fans been in the stadium. And obviously that's out of everybody's hands at the moment. For me, my wish is to see at least one unexpected champion among the top 5 leagues. And it's looking that it could be a season where this could happen. Now, yes, in the Premier League, Liverpool are leading the way. In the Bundesliga, it's Bayern. But elsewhere, as you're saying, Milan, we're seeing at the top of the table in the Serie A, Atleti in La Liga leading the way right now. Could be some interesting times that we are seeing across the board. There could be an unexpected champion. And
I'm going to put you on the spot. If you were to pick one unexpected in the top 5 leagues, which team do you think is going to win it?
The unexpected winner in the top 5 leagues, I'm going to go for Atleti and Diego Simeone to do it again with them.
Ooh, good for you. That's probably one of the most realistic ones, I suppose, right?
It is, and it wouldn't be the worst present for Atleti fans, although it would be a bit of a belated Christmas present.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.